The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Shelbi, we're thrilled to have you and Scout with us today. Scout's looking at me like, I don't know who you are, lady. But why don't you tell a little bit about your background, how you got to where you're at, and then we'll talk about.
Absolutely. So I have personally worked with animals the majority of my life. Started out volunteering at shelters. Years later, I became a vet tech and worked at a couple clinics here in town, and from there became shelter manager at Winnieberry.
Okay.
And it's been such a blessing. I've gotten to meet so many wonderful animals and people and community members, and from there I've become executive director, and I want to be able to do more out in the community and help the animals as well as our community members, and it's a team effort. So sure. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you.
So for people who may not be familiar, tell us about the Humane Society and kind of what you do and what it is and how it operates.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We've actually been in this community since 64. We've been a nonprofit. Wow. And so that's a long time.
Yeah.
We've been at our location since '93, and so our building, it needs a little love and care. It needs some updates, but we've helped countless numbers of animals, and there have been many people that have come through our doors and made our organization better, including board members, volunteers, people that have adopted and helped spread our mission. We hope to continue for another 60 years and then long past that, hopefully. But we just want to be able to do as much as we can for the animals, and especially in our area, we have a vast number of homeless animals, and we kind of see that through reports with Kurth, which is our city shelter. A lot of the rescues in the area, our shelter, we're all trying to work together at this point, and have the community as well help us out, because we're not going to be able to come down on that number and get everybody homed if it's not a joint effort.
So let's talk about your mission. Throughout this month, we've been talking to all the different shelters, and what sets you apart from everybody else?
So since we are a nonprofit, we are completely ran off of grants and donations from our community. In saying that, we don't get any city funding or anything like that. So we heavily rely on our community members, and showing how long we've been around and how many animals we've helped. The community's really come through for us. We also have a few different programs. He's getting ready to talk in the microphone. We have a few different programs. So our foster program just went back up. It was down for a few years because of COVID, as well as our volunteer program. Mm-hmm. So those are back up and running. We do need fosters heavily. A lot of animals, especially like Scout, they get nervous in the shelter. It's of course it's a lot different than being in a home. There's stressors that a lot of people don't think about. The barking, the smells.
I was gonna say it's loud.
Yes, he's about to fall out of here. Barking, smells, and dogs present, and cats as well, but present with stress in different ways. Scout here, he has a tendency to start licking his paws, and that can cause lick granulomas, and we have to treat those, and so there's more medical costs with that. But I might need to start over.
No, let's just start
around.
You're good.
It actually just kind of led me into a question I had about that. So how does the fostering program work? I know we hear a lot about it, but so you you take this animal into your home while it's still up for adoption. Is that how it works?
Yes. So our foster program, I did a lot of research checking with other rescues and shelters and what their programs look like when I was putting it together. And so with ours, we do a home visit, and we'll come in and ask some questions and make sure that the home is safe and you have everything you need for the cat or dog that you're wanting to foster. And then we go through a questionnaire with you, and it's very casual. You know, we're not coming in and hoping to find anything. We want to make sure that the animal that you want to take home with you is the right fit, and that you'll be able to offer them the kind of resources that we would at the shelter as well, with the extra love and attention and care. When you foster, you also wind up a lot of the time finding out, behavioral issues that we didn't know about because they present differently. Like I said, you go into a home and we don't know that they chew up shoes, and then we find out they chew up shoes. And so that's something
not be
that
my friend if you chewed up my shoe.
That's something we can work on before they go to their, forever home. And when we work on those things before they go into homes, or we know about them and we can better advise adopters, the adoptions stick a lot better. So we invite anybody to come in, and you can put in an application to foster, and from that we go into the contract and the home visit and all of that.
And so what all type of animals do you have at Winnieberry?
Right now, we have cats and dogs.
Okay.
I would love to have all different types of animals, but I don't know if that's just me. But we only have cats and dogs right now, but we are limited on space.
Okay.
So we can hold about 22 dogs in our dog room. 5 of those are runs, so for medium to large dogs. The majority of animals that are surrendered are large breed dogs.
I was going to say they're probably big.
So we are consistently full. Anytime we get an adoption, we usually have a surrender that same day that fills up that kennel. So one of the things we want to work on long term is updating our facility so that we can house more of the larger breed dogs. Start pulling from Kurth again, due to having space open. Helping with transports, that type of stuff. Our cat room, we do need to update kennels at this point. We've got 19 kennels, but we do have to have room to move cats back and forth to clean properly. So we keep about 5 of them open at a time at least and clean in blocks. And he's getting a little.
I was going to say, he wants to run around. He can run around.
Can he?
Yeah, he won't mess up anything.
Yeah, he's fine.
I've got him on a leash. Let me see.
He can go visit.
Yeah. So with our cats, our length of stay is about 56 days, which is pretty good. For our dogs, it is at about 150 days at this point.
Okay.
And so that's averaging the dogs that we currently have, not the ones that have already gone home. So that's a pretty extensive period of time for a dog to be in a shelter. We've done a lot of research, and there's studies on the regression of dogs.
I was going to say, I would think that, of course, the longer that they're in a shelter or a kennel,
the more they regress.
Right.
Yes. So even the most well-trained dog that has no behavioral issues, no pottying in the house and stuff like that, after being housed in a kennel for 2 weeks to a month, they start to regress.
Right.
And it's, there's things that we want to update so that's not as hard on their mental health. However, adoptions are going to be the best thing to combat that. So
I think there's a misconception that you only have older dogs.
Well, me personally, senior dogs are my favorite. Scout here, he's considered a senior. He's between 7 and 8 years old.
Okay.
And senior animals are my favorite because their personalities are developed. You kind of know what you're going to get for the most part. And that whole you can't teach an old dog new tricks saying is an absolute lie. They're so smart, and I think they really know what you're doing for them when you're adopting them. They're so appreciative. But we have puppies. So our intake policy states that we take animals in that are 4 months or older.
Okay.
And that is due to space as well. Our isolation area holds new intakes. It holds dogs and cats. We're hoping to split that soon because that can make it a little stressful with new intakes on cats being housed in the same area as dogs.
Sure.
They're split up once they come out of isolation. But with puppies, we worry about their immune system. The same thing with kittens, when they're being housed kind of communal when they're first brought in. So the hope is to have a separate housing area for puppies and kittens, cats and dogs when they're new intakes, and we'll hopefully be able to drop that number to a younger age to bring in. But at this point, it's 4 months of age. So we have dogs that are right now 4 to 5 months. Some puppies, Alvin and Simon, at the shelter. And if you go check out our Facebook page, they're on our Facebook page. They're pretty cute. Shadow's another one. And then they range all the way up to 7, 8 years old. We have one in foster that's a foster to adopt at the moment, and her name's Puff. She's been, I'm sure there's many people that have been following her story. She was actually dumped at our shelter. She's about 12 years old, so we didn't know anything about her. She was terrified at the time. We've gotten her groomed. Her medical costs, a lot of people have helped with those. And so we've been able to do x-rays on her because she has some problems with her back end. She's had some urinary incontinence issues, stuff like that. So she's actually in a foster right now, and they're looking to adopt. One of our board members has fallen in love with her, and she's doing great. She's a farm dog now too, so she goes out to their farm usually every weekend, maybe every 2 weeks, and she just hangs out on the farm, just sunbathes.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So how do people adopt? What does that process look like? If you're looking for a new pet, if you're looking for a dog or a cat, how does that work? Do they come up there and kind of shop for pets, or how does that work?
So we have all of our animals that are available for adoption are listed on Pet Finder. You can go to our website and go to the Adopt tab, and there's a link straight to Pet Finder to all of our animals. Actually, most rescues in our area, Kurth as well, our city shelter, all use Pet Finder. So it's a great place to initially look at the animals. Cool. But we always want you to come in and meet them, of course. If you are wanting to adopt a dog and you've got another dog at home, we do meet and greets, and we do require those. Those meet and greets help us to see if, not only is this dog that you're wanting to adopt going to be the right fit for you and your human family, but your other, your dogs as well. Right. We don't require that on cats because, of course, cats can be a little bit finicky if you pull them into a shelter environment and they're used to being at their homes. They don't act as they normally would. So we talk to you about your cats and the cat that you're looking to adopt to make sure that their personalities, would match up, that they both do well with other cats. But you would wind up after looking on Pet Finder, or you could come in and we would take you through the shelter and let you see all the animals. If you have 1, 2, 3, 5 that you're interested in, we will take as much time as you need, take you guys out to puppy land, have you guys run around, play together, really get to know the animal. Because when you look at a dog in a shelter in a kennel, you've got some that are just so excited to see you that they're barking nonstop. Mm-hmm. They're jumping off the kennel walls. Mm-hmm. It might be a little intimidating, but you get them out of the kennel and into puppy land, and they're, gentle and they're sweet, and you
puppy
can really
land.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
And then once you decide on, the animal that's right for you, you'll fill out an adoption application. We go through the application with you and, approve that application. And then our adoption fee is $80. That kind of helps offset the medical costs of, the initial spay or neuter, as well as, heartworm tests or feline leukemia and AIDS tests for cats. We microchip all of our animals. They're all up to date on vaccines. They're up to date on their flea and heartworm prevention. So when they're adopted, they are ready to go. We do just ask that you take the animal within the first 30 days to the vet just to get them established with a veterinarian and get an extensive exam done on them. it really helps for in the future if you do that initial exam and you have any problems arise, especially within that first year. The vet's already seen them, they're already familiar with them, they have notes, they can tell if something's abnormal from that first visit.
So we know that you encourage pet owners to spay and neuter. Tell us about some initiatives that you have trying to increase accessibility to that for the community.
Yeah, so we do have a low-cost spay and neuter program. The funding comes from a grant from the TLL Temple Foundation. Okay. We are so thankful for it. It's helped spay and neuter, thousands of animals. Was I going with that?
You're okay.
Yeah, it's helped spay and neuter, thousands of animals. We reapply for this grant every year, and we have been very fortunate to get approved each year for it.
They do so much for our community.
Yes, they absolutely. We look forward to applying again this year and hopefully getting approved for next year. That spay and neuter grant is for part of our low income community. So if you make under 40,000 gross income per year and you live in either Angelina, Trinity, Houston, or Polk County, you can come in and apply for it. Of course, we need a few documents, proof of income, proof of residency in the form of like a utility bill with your name and address on it, driver's license, and then of course the completed application. And then once we process that, we send it over to Southwood Drive Animal Clinic, and they get everything on the books and call you to schedule the appointment and go over, pre-op care, post-op care, and all of that. But it's definitely helped a large number of animals. I don't have anything set just yet, but we have a few other plans, and hopefully some opportunities to partner with some of the other rescues in the area to come up with some more initiatives. We've all been working pretty hard on it.
That's great.
That's awesome. So what does the future look like for the shelter? Do you guys have some improvement plans in the works you mentioned?
What's do. We of course, there's the grand plan. Our shelters, it's a little older. We've talked about that a little bit. It's it needs a lot of attention, not only with upgrading kennels for the animals. That's a very big part of it. Our kennels right now, we would like to really update them so that we could bring down the stress levels of the animals. Those stress levels go down, they're more likely to get adopted. They don't have as much, hopefully they won't have as many behavioral issues with some of the updates we're wanting to make. If you do come by our shelter, which we always want everybody come by and visit our shelter, whether it's just if you're a donor and you're looking to help out a wonderful cause, you can always call the shelter and ask for me, and I will take you around and give you a tour and let you know our plans and what we're wanting to do, have you meet some of our animals, because they are really wonderful animals. They all have such different personalities and different needs, but with those plans, the first thing is doing some updates inside the building. We want to update their kennels. We want to there's random things like dehumidifiers that we need for the building because we run a lot of water. Pull all that out so the air isn't as humid. There's a lot of painting that needs to be done. There's some cabinets that need to be fixed. There's, we've looked at a different floor plan, and that's kind of more extensive. It's what we would love to be able to do. But in the meantime, we're trying to do these little upgrades just to make it more of the place that it should be. With how long it's been in our community and with the Winnie Berry name behind it, we just want to make sure we're representing the community and holding that name to a very high standard.
Well, what do you need the community to do? Do you need dog food? Do you need cat food? Do you need newspapers?
Yes.
What do you need?
So since we run completely off of donations, that means material donations as well. We take in any kind of donation. If you think we can use it, we probably can. We've had just recently a post go out about looking for cake pans to use as litter boxes. And because if you've got them at home, we can recycle those and use them rather than tossing them out. So those are the kind of out of the box thinking. If you think we can use it, just give us a call. But we do run completely off of donations, so that includes food, cat litter. We go through quite a bit of cat litter. A 50-pound bag of food when we're at full capacity might last a couple days. So we go
crazy.
through quite a bit of food. We do feed our dogs twice a day. We try to keep them on a good schedule so that when they go home, the new owner has a schedule to go off of, and there's not as many changes. They can still keep up with that food schedule. Right now, having raised dog beds would be wonderful. We've got a few of them. Some wonderful donors have come through communication on Facebook, and this week we've gotten a few raised dog beds, and that's been super helpful. Outside having dog houses for them in their kennels, so they have a place to, go and decompress if they are, getting a little bit overwhelmed. Just like you and I, after a long day or a stressful time, we might want to, go in our bedroom and close the door and watch TV for a little while. And that's, what we can do at the shelter for them is give them a spot to decompress so they can come out feeling better afterwards and feeling more confident.
I love that. Well, if someone wants to just come up and spend some time with them animals, is that something people can do? Can
Absolutely.
you come just pet some dogs, pet some cats?
Yes,
Even if you don't have space to take them home, is that something that's okay?
Oh yeah, we definitely, our volunteers have been wonderful. Like I said, our volunteer program was closed down during COVID, so it's taken a little while to get it back up and running. We have some consistent volunteers that come in weekly. Lufkin, the VET students, they come in and, they love on the animals. They unfold newspapers for us, help us with laundry. Our volunteers are they're a huge asset to our organization. But most of the time when we have volunteers come in, they get to do more of the fun stuff. And that's what we want. We want you guys to be excited when you come in. And the more that we can get the dogs and cats socialized, again, the better the adoptions, the better their mental health and their physical health while they're in the shelter, the less stress that they have. So if you want to come in for an hour, 2 hours, and just go out to Puppyland and play with the dogs and cats, yeah, we definitely welcome that.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today and for bringing Scout here with us. If you didn't watch the video version of this today, you missed out. Maybe go check that out and find a link to the YouTube or the Facebook.
Scout's available for adoption.
Yes.
He is. Yeah, somebody adopt Scout. This has been a fun podcast because we've just been, while she's been talking, Tara and I have just been petting a dog. He's just walking back and forth getting pet here, and he's been a super good boy this whole time. So thank you.
He wants back
now he wants back in the chair.
Yes, he's going to come back up here.
Just in time
because I wasn't giving him enough attention.
Just in time to sign off.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
we appreciate you coming
Thanks
out
for
and
having us.
Chatting with us. And thank you so much again for listening to the podcast again this week. Please go and support this organization. Go volunteer. Go pet some dogs, pet some cats. Drop off a bag of dog food. The next time you go grab some groceries, just grab an extra one and bring it their way. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.